Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's do this one, and we'll call this the last one for tonight.
Okay.
Anyways.
So I'm going to load you up to make sure that you get an S in this. And so to take away your handgun. You don't need your handgun.
Okay.
And take away your handgun ammo.
Okay.
And you definitely need those. So I'm going to carry some stuff that you'll need like later. Yeah, I'll carry 2 sprays because you're going to need another spray. Yeah. Upgrade your weapons if you can. You don't want to max them out, but you definitely get like more rounds and a little more power.
Oh yeah, I'm all set there.
Okay. And I am gonna carry. I'll just carry an extra spray for now. Okay. So I'll ask you, Wayne. Like, how long do you think you want to do this?
As long as it's fun. I don't think that's the time frame.
Yeah. I mean, so people, people like, we won't mention names, but there are some people I think are doing it. Ken Rogerson, I think stepped away for a while or did other things, and I think has come back to it in the last couple of years, is what I'm hearing, and I really believe he likes it. I really think he likes it. I don't think he's doing it for obviously the money, because there's not huge money in a lot of the shows.
Yeah, not out here. They do it different out here.
I think Tony loves it. I really think Tony is doing this because this is what he does. I really think Tony enjoys still doing it several days a week.
To me, that's the important part to me. It's like, yeah, is it cool getting paid for a show? 100%. Who doesn't like having a few extra bucks? Ultimately, though, it's just like when it stops being fun to go up there and tell jokes. That's when I'm gonna stop.
Then what you need to do, I gotta get. This is one of the really fucking hard things to shoot unless you know where it is. All right, you see that thing on the pole?
Oh yeah.
You might want to use, yeah. Okay. So there's like 4 parts to. Oh, I went the wrong way. You're going the wrong way. Which, by the way, have you planes, trains, and automobiles? Is that a must viewing on Thanksgiving for you?
I try every year, and I always get pulled away and distracted.
My 18-year-old son, had a friend visiting, and by surprise, they sat down and watched it with me, and they could not believe how great that movie is.
That's incredible.
They were just like, I'm like, yeah, maybe they'll hang out for like a little bit. No. They were in for the whole thing. My son also enjoys the fact that I'm a crier.
Yeah.
And I'm a big crier when it comes to movies. And and that's one of the movies. It's like, yeah, there's a couple things. It doesn't matter how many times I see that. Doesn't matter how many times I see League of Their Own. Doesn't matter. Okay. So you need your landmines right now, my good friend Wayne. If you could get your landmines out, that would be great.
So, if you had top 3 John Candy movies, what would you pick? Or are you not a John Candy fan? You just like that?
Oh, no. I'm trying to think. Right there. Then you want to put one right here. And then you want to... let's get this thing out of here. Load up your shotgun. Okay. The first 10 minutes of Stripes might be the greatest 10 minutes of film in the history of movies. It's like Stripes is great. Stripes is absolutely great. It truly is one of the greatest movies ever. Um, it's two different movies, though. It's like there, it gets to this one point where the movie could have ended at one point in the movie very naturally, and it would have been fine. It would have been absolutely fine. Um, but the first 10 minutes of that is so John Candy. You know, it's beyond amazing. It's beyond amazing. Planes, trains, and automobiles, of course. Um, and again, like, what was he huge? Was he huge in Vacation? Is that a John? Is that a John Candy movie? Well, no. But is that movie? Is the John Candy part of that movie the best part of the movie? Yeah, yeah, it really is. You want to give? Yeah, okay, you can have that for now, but you don't want to fill up on that. Listen to me like telling a kid not to eat too much candy before. Yeah, Uncle Buck is really great. Uncle
I mean,
Buck is another
that's the answer right there.
really really great movie, and and you think a lot. There's one movie I'd be a little surprised if you know, but it's one of the movies that I absolutely love. My wife loves Harry Crumb.
I know, I've never seen it, but I do know of it.
Yep, yep. But I'm also a huge. But again, John Candy isn't in the top five in billing, but the Blues Brothers is not the Blues Brothers without John Candy.
Hmm.
It's just not. You need your rifle for this next part. Okay. Not cancel. Get in there, dummy. Um, uh, yeah, but and I'm old, so it's so cliche. But my first week at film school, the teacher hated me, and he hated me for 4 years, and he resented the fact that our first assignment was to come in with your top 10 favorite movies. So this is 1989. I'm like 19 years old. I didn't go to college right after high school. I played 2 years of minor league hockey. And my top 10 movies were Slapshot, The Jerk, Caddyshack, the Blues Brothers. And he thought, because it wasn't Dr. Zhivago, it wasn't From Russia to Love, it wasn't Citizen Kane. Okay, you just got to shoot that guy if you could. Oh, the gate we won't get through doesn't open until you shoot that guy in front of you. All right, awesome job. One shot, one kill. But I'm also older, where I was a really big fan. I was a really big fan of SCTV. Maybe as much. I don't want to say more. I think it might be a little sacrilege if I say more. But like 12-year-old me loved SCTV as much as Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
And when you talk about a show, like, dude, who on SCTV didn't go on to be enormous? I don't mean big, I mean enormous. Like, Eugene Levy. You know what I mean? Okay, so this part is a tough one. This is, and there's nothing you can do about it. But you can't really fight them off. You just kind of have to avoid them for the most part. But this is where these alligators come out. So you just want to kind of run wide of them as much as you can. Oh. And so we got to get over to this little cave in here. Like, that's really the only thing that will take them out. And getting up here isn't the hard part, but getting away from them later is. And you got your shotgun?
I do.
Alright, so just start blasting these fuckers. I'm not going to shoot them so you can get the kill numbers.
Oh, I thought that was you.
Nope. There you go. Nice. All right, there's one more guy over here.
Well, we're on the subject of sketch shows.
Oh, yes.
Oh, go ahead. If you had something else to say about that.
Right here to your right. Right here to your right. But yeah, SCTV, man. I mean, everybody on that show went on to do big things, like really big things. But John Candy was just, I mean, Martin Short, Catherine O'Hara. You put the SCTV graduating class. Just hug the wall the whole way on your right, the whole way getting out of here. The SCTV class you put on par with the first 2 years of Saturday Night Live. Like everybody from those first 2 years of Saturday Night Live, absolute goddamn royalty.
You don't always stop and watch. Anytime the sketch of Belushi doing the Joe Cocker impression.
Dude, why is that so good?
It has no business being that good.
Nope. But it is mesmerizing. It is mesmerizing. But the thing is, that for Belushi was kind of almost like cosplaying. Like he wanted to leave. So the Blues Brothers were a SNL audience warm-up gig. Like that's what it was. It wasn't a sketch for Saturday Night Live. They did that as kind of like the warming up the audience type thing. And Belushi absolutely fell in love with it to the point he wanted to stop acting and do the Blues Brothers full time.
Huh.
He truly wanted to do the Blues Brothers full time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I mean, he just loved, I mean, singing and dancing were his favorite things. Like, and there's it's almost haunting sketch. Oh my God, I think it's called Don't Look Back in Anger, which is the name of one of the greatest Oasis songs. Shout out, Noel Gallagher, but it's a flash forward and he is, he's at a graveyard. He's an old man. He's an old man who gets on the subway to go to the graveyard to visit all of his friends. Dan Aykroyd, who died in a motorcycle accident. Belushi, not Belushi. Aykroyd. He goes how they all died. How they all died. He's like, how did I outlive them all? Like, because I was a dancer. Ironically, he of course died first. But. Right. But yeah, he literally loved. And look, I've had this conversation, this very conversation with Anthony. If you had a choice, if you could, be a famous comic or a famous musician, which would it be? And for me, it definitely would not be stand up. It wouldn't be that. Like, would I rather be, would I rather have Dave Grohl's career, or would I rather? Oh, so yeah, you can go in there. I'll allow it. Would I rather have Dave Grohl's career or Steve Martin's career? If you could have one, or so get out your bombs, come back to where I am, my friend. And get one of these. Get your landmines out. Yep. Put one Anthony Eugenio right here. Put one Anthony Eugenio right there, and put one Anthony Eugenio right here. And for me, yeah, I don't. I'm not sure which I would rather, and. It's a legit question. If I could have the career of, and I think John Belushi could not make that decision. Like, if he was given that career, yeah, he would have been a rocker. I think he would have given all up to do the Blues Brothers full time. I really do. But don't you hate those people who really could be great at any of those things? But yeah. So yep. Just start picking these bitches off. You got your shotgun. Ready for your shotgun wedding?
Hmm. Yeah, I don't have that love of music like you guys do, so it's easy for me.
Yeah, yeah, no. Well, the thing is, at the same time, I mean, you know, because I think about this, in my 20s or 30s or even my early 40s, I would have taken hockey. I would have been like, yeah, you know what? I would like to have played hockey and have my number retired. But, the thing is, no matter how great my hockey career would have been, Wayne Gretzky level, Mario Lemieux weather, those guys are done. Even you look how ridiculous it is that Tom Brady played as long as he did. Dude, he's got another 40 years to live of not doing what he did best in his life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I know Dave Grohl is my age, and who knows if the Foo Fighters are going to put out 10 more albums? You know what I mean? Who
Yep.
knows if, I mean, Phil Collins, because he's even, by the time I was cognizant of Phil Collins, he had been, a huge musician for 20 years, as a drummer for Genesis before he went on to be the singer for Genesis and the everything for Genesis, you know what I mean? And then his solo career and stuff like that. So it's always a little, okay, where am I going now? I got turned around a little bit. Yeah. So so when I have that conversation with, Anthony, it's like, yeah, think about if John Belushi really could have done it. So what is your favorite sketch show? Do you love sketch? Hold on, before you tell me if you love sketch, you get rid of that. Right there. If you could please give me. Nope. You don't really need the egg, but get rid of the ammo.
I'm gonna eat it.
The red ammo. Get rid of the. Oh, you can eat it. Yep, there you go. Now get rid of the handgun ammo. You don't have a handgun. And give me those 8 rounds of rifle ammo. Okay, now take a walk, my friend, up this plank. Yep. And now you're getting the OP of weapons. You'll store that and you can use it. It's a one-shot thing. So,
Gotcha.
there's really one great place to use it in the game, or you can save it, for, not save it. Okay, now we're almost done to the boss level thing. We just gotta come here. Okay, sketch.
Yeah.
Do you like sketch?
Love sketch. So I used to be a big Mad TV guy.
Yeah, that your age makes sense.
Yep. Loved Mad TV, but I also did love, Saturday Night Live. I was the Sandler era. That was the stuff that I really enjoyed, but I also did grow up watching all the old, a bunch of the old reruns and stuff. But SNL never really grabbed me as much as I always wish it did. That makes sense? You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate a lot of the old, like the classic ones, just the classic ones that all the Farley sketches and the the cowbell and like stuff like that. But just from growing up, Mad TV was my thing. Now my favorite sketch show is I Think You Should Leave, the Tim Robinson one, and I think it's just right
great.
up my alley in terms of what I find funny. It doesn't have to hold back because of network regulations. It is just uncomfortable comedy, which I think is hilarious. I mean, the very first sketch, he's trying to pull a door that you need to push, gets called out on it and says, "Nope, it goes both ways," and then uncomfortably breaks the door off its hinges. Like it's stupid, but it just gets me. It just tickles me right away.
I apologize so much. I wish I was better with names. I wish I wasn't, look, I wish I wasn't concussed as much as I have been through my entire life of being an idiot. But there is a documentary right now on. There's a documentary about a Saturday Night Live writer. He was a writer the first 5 years. Went to work with Letterman. Went to work for other people, and then came back to Saturday Night Live for like 20 years. And oh, why am I blanking on the guy's name? Okay, I'm giving you these. All right, get those out if you could. The landmines. You're gonna need those. But first, we gotta go get a couple resources. Anyways, oh my God, I like he's a household name when it comes to like sketch writing and stuff like that. Yeah, you can put those two together. Okay, so get your landmines if you could, my friend, and put one right halfway down there. Put one halfway down there. Yep. Put one right here, or like a little inside this door. Right there, yep. Come over here. If you can put one right there. If you can put one over here. And right behind, and put one right over there. Yep, right there. Yep. And now come over here. Come up here, come up these steps. And now we're just going to sit here and shoot these fuckers as they try to come up here. Anyways, the thing about this, the writer, oh God, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. It's some of my favorite humor. And so Conan the documentary said he's the king of writing sketches to solve problems that don't exist. But he does it with such earnestness. Like my favorite comedy is like, the comedy that only works if there's, well, it's very much like I Think You Should Leave. Like the absolute absurdist, but the people doing it are absolutely committed. Like they're not laughing at all. It is not a sketch to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that kind of comedy. Like this is real. This is this. So this guy, like one of his famous old Saturday Night Live sketches. It's a bank that just makes change. That's the whole thing. The whole thing is it's a bank that makes change. Okay, so come over here where I am, and you're going to pick up that. Merge those two, the red and the blue. Yep, there you go. And now you got the OG. Okay, and yeah, okay, we'll get shotgun shells later. All right.
Come on.
All right, I'm coming.
Yeah, give me. I'm so used to it being a.
Load up your rifle real quick, and now give me that one. Give me that one thing of ammo. And now right there is some. Oh no, it left. Okay, we didn't pick it up in time. It's fine. We'll get you some shotgun stuff. Yeah, you don't need you want to save that. What am I saying? Get rid of your handgun ammo and pick up that shotgun ammo right there. And this is one of those. We're all done with this level. We just have to do this little exercise in futility. So you go turn that crank, my friend. And you see me in front of you going across this bridge? Did you see me go across the bridge? Wayne?
Sorry, I accidentally clicked the mute. Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. If you want to be a dick when you're playing with somebody and you let go of the crank, you will kill them. So I play games with people who are like, kind of dicks, and they're like, I'm done playing, and what I'll do is I'll wait to a scene like that till the scene's all over and we're all done and we can move on, and just as they think they're over, I'll drop them, I'll and that thing, I'll just let go of the thing, and then I'll log off. Am I a petty little bitch? Yeah, I am. Anyways, but no love for Kids in the Hall.
I did used to like Kids in the Hall when I was growing up too, yeah.
I can't get out of this now. Okay. That is my favorite. That is my all-time favorite. When I was in college, um, yeah, get rid of the flame. Get rid of that flame grenade. You don't need that. You need shotgun stuff. Um, Dude, that is my favorite of all time. The Kids in the Hall, hands down. I like what I know about that show. I wish I didn't because I know so much. Like if I'm an expert on anything, I'm an expert on how porn has forwarded technology for the last 100 years more than any other innovation, which is a fact, which is an undisputable fact.
You said thwarted it?
And forward it. It has
Oh,
forwarded
forwarded it.
technology. Yeah. Forwarded technology.
Yeah, you get
And
that
I
post
have
nut clarity. People, they're
no, dude. I'm literally talking about, um, like like how home movies became, accessible because of porn.
oh
Like
Jesus.
literally, how VHS. No, I'm just, dude. The internet was around for many years before porn figured out how to monetize itself on it. But that's a story for another day. But Kids in the Hall, how much I know about Kids in the Hall and every sketch and all of this stuff. And I will now let you return. I don't even know what time it is. How long have we been playing?
Oh, we've been playing for 2 hours and 29 minutes. This is going to be a few episodes.
Oh, or as I like to call it, a nice warm up session.
Listen, if
but
I
this
didn't
is
have to get up early to go to the grocery store, because tomorrow I have to go to the grocery store, then my son has basketball, and then my work Christmas party, all back to back to back. So
Are they, first of all, if I may ask, are the nets lowered?
yes,
Okay. Okay. So it might be a 4-2 game or a 6-4 game, not a nothing to nothing game.
last week was their first, and it was all practice. Um, it was all practice, and then going over the rules, getting the kids their shirts, like all that shit. I don't know. I'm assuming they're going to do games, but I don't know for sure.
And then your work Christmas party, your wife's Christmas party, you said.
My work, the good
Oh,
one.
right. Yeah, I was going to say, because I thought your wife's had it like a dinner and they don't let significant others come.
There was that, but she had the concussion. She was out of work. She didn't go.
Which always makes me think whoever has that policy going has an office romance going and they don't want their significant other to know. Oh, sorry, I'd love to bring you, but it's work people only.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
way that they, but that's how I think. Yeah, well, I have to go to a Christmas party that it's friends. I can't say friends of my wife. They are now friends of mine. Absolutely, like adore this husband and wife. Absolutely adore. Like just a great guy. Just a really great guy. Really great. Their daughters, two daughters are really great kids. But they both come from the most white trash families ever. It's not in a trailer park, but but most of the people who come to the party came straight from the park. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't mean that looking down. Like, look, dude, my comedy, it's white trash. Like white, you know what I mean? It's like white.
Oh, I think you pulled out again.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, yeah. But I have to go to that, and then I have to go to McHugh's, which hey, we'll see. I'm all look.
Well, you have
I
to go. Are
now
you on the
tweet.
show?
I'm hosting.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So and I'm hoping Joe can go. Because I haven't seen Joe. The last time you saw Joe, I think I saw Joe. No. He went to Nick's a couple weeks ago. He went to Nick's a couple weeks ago. Um, but yeah, I haven't seen him much, and so I like to see him. But literally, I got a couple new things that. So this is one of those shows. It's like I don't know if McHugh's there, but I know Radigan's there, so I definitely want to kill,
Yeah.
or I want to do well.
Yep.
I want to do well because I don't think Radigan has seen me host Winter Circle, which is not the same as hosting a show.
No, not even close.
So I definitely want to do really well. So I'll kind of do some stuff that's not the newest stuff that I know. What, Wayne? What I'm going to say is I'm just going to use my jokes that I know work everywhere in the world.
That is the best policy.
which counting up the ones that I have here, carry the 3 is none. It's none. but I'll use the ones that might have, like, let's say a 725 batting average. You know what I mean?
Pretty good.
So yeah. You know what they are. ADD meds. Wife has 2 jobs. You know, dude. What? I wish that the joke that I do have that works 85% of the time is, how old do other people's kids have to be before you can hit them? Like, I wish it didn't work. I wish we didn't live in a world, you know, that because everybody has thought of it. Everybody has thought of it.
Yeah. You know, I started, or I've done it. I've done it once now. The last show I did a little rant about bullying and how I think we need to bring bullying back. Like, we try to stop cold turkey, you know, and it's people agree. It's you know what I mean.
Anthony started going down the road with a bit that he hasn't worked on in a while, but he turned it into substitute, like teachers hitting kids.
Yeah.
But he used to say, and I think it really hit home, and he's dropped this part of the joke, and I think he should maybe relook at bringing it back, where he talks about the last generation is the first generation that was raised not being hit. Yeah. And it's also the first generation that has absolutely no drive to get out of the fucking house.
Yeah.
like I got my license the day I could.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the day I could get my permit, I got it. The day I could get my license, I got it. The day I could get a job, I got it. You know, and now, like, the what do you call it? Is it the millennials? Like the 25? The number of 25 to 30-year-olds I know that don't have a driver's license because they got chauffeured around. You know, they got, or that, you know, like the house was not a place that, look, I'm coming home late drunk, I'm going to get the shit kicked out of me. You know what I mean? It's like, no, they grew up calling their parents to come get a ride. And I'm not saying that's wrong. You know, I'm not saying, look, that's a policy with my kids. I'm like, dude, call. I will come get you. If you fuck up, if something goes sideways, it's easier for me to fix it on the front end, not the back end. So call. But on the other hand, like, dude, like, yeah, you know, so Anthony started doing that. Like, he drew a correlation between, like, the last 2 generations of having no work ethic and no drive and not getting their license. Also, the first generation that didn't get hit. You know what I
mean? I it's fun. Excuse me. It's funny. We all have jokes about that, and I completely forgot about this. But I had one that I was trying to get to work, and I should probably revisit it because this was like a year and a half ago. About the correlation of how I feel like a lot of my generation are dying earlier from heart attacks and things like that from built up stress because you're not allowed to hit your family anymore. It's looked down upon, you know. But it's funny, we all have our take on it.
Yeah, but that's why generally it does okay because most people in the room have thought of that.
Yeah.
You know?
It's relatability, you know?
Yes.
And as long as everybody understands you don't actually mean it, then you can have a good time with it.
Well, I mean, you know, it is really funny, and this is a longer conversation for a longer thing. It's like that's why when somebody, you know, when a social justice warrior gets upset at a joke during the setup.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I have my joke that starts off, trans women scare me. Right away, people who are bigots and are punched down and want to marginalize the community love it right away. And then people like my wife, I can feel the hair standing up on the back of their neck. You know what I mean? It's like, what is this piece of shit going to say? Mm-hmm. You know, and then the whole joke turns out to be you go through all that to transition and then make 20% less doing the same job. It's not at all a punching down, an anti-trans. It's not even a trans joke. It's a joke about pay inequality and how fucked up that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You also don't need the Magnum right now. There you go. You will need it later. But that's what the joke's about. But it's the same thing. When you were doing your Love on the Spectrum joke at your New Year's Eve show, and that woman already didn't like it to begin with, it's like, you're not making fun of that show or people on the show. And if you get to the point where you're like, how many more of these shows are we going to exploit? How many more of these afflictions are we going to exploit?
The funny thing about that was I didn't even get to that joke before she rushed the stage. You know what joke she came up on?
No.
I used to do a joke where I said I could be part of a gay couple.
Yes.
That could be pretty cool. Like imagine having two people in the relationship that can, fix things around the house, move heavy furniture, drink the beer, and make most of the money. I don't know how my wife does it.
Right, but you have to let you get to that.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to. Right? Yeah, I don't know how my wife does it by herself. I took it out because I was like, okay, apparently that's But yeah, you gotta let comics get to their point and judge it by the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because we have a friend, we know another comic who one time, like, might have heard the setup to a couple of my jokes, and then they were hosting a show and goes, oh, great, another old married guy comes here to shit on his wife. Dude, yep. I never shit on my wife. Like, do the jokes start off shitting on my wife? 100%. But they all end with me being an asshole. Like, yep. Yes, my wife had this dream cheating on me. Isn't she crazy? And then the hook is, well, on a weight loss program, I misunderstood the term cheat day. I'm making fun of myself. Right. Trying to think of one of the other jokes I talk about my wife, where but it is. It's all about me being a piece of shit. Or even when I talk about whatever, and you get it, but you got to let me get there. I'm going to make fun of me.
I'll also say I think the person that said that might have some jokes about their ex and the size of their manhood.
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
Exactly. Exactly. So just look. If you're anti-trans, you know what? Well, this is where we part ways. If you're punching down on a marginalized community, it's like, it's like, hey, I'm just a different, like, I don't think I've ever walked out of a comedy show, but there are some people that I don't want to do comedy with, you know what I mean? And there's some people that, and look, I'm not getting down that rabbit hole. Like, there's a difference between having political differences and moral differences. And there's just some comics who it's like, they're just not good people. And, look, like, we did it, again, we're wrapping this up, so we're talking on a different day. But, yes, let the comic tell his joke and then tell him what a piece of shit he is, or she is. You know what I mean? But let them get to the punchline. And then make the decision, or let them finish their set, because when I was doing 5-minute sets, Wayne, I was getting pretty okay at tying them together.
Yeah.
So we're my last year. So Rodney Norman, a couple weeks ago that we saw, it seemed like he went on a 15-minute rant that was disconnected, but that motherfucker tied it all back in at the end. And I remember we're looking at each other thinking, "Holy shit!"
Yep, it was a ramble. It wasn't a rant. It was a nonsensical ramble. Like, right. What the hell is this guy talking about? And then all of a sudden, boom! It all made sense. And you're like, "Oh my god, it was brilliant."
And the only person in the room who that rant made sense to before he tied it together was him in his head, because he knew where it was going.
Yeah.
And so, and there's been, I've done callbacks at the end of the sets. Well, maybe the person is setting it up at, let's see where they go with this. You know what I mean?
Comedy's, it's a roller coaster, right? It's supposed to bring you all different types of emotions. You're not supposed to just laugh. You're supposed to have all these emotions of, wow, that kind of made me angry, or that made me happy, or that kind of made me sad. And then that makes the laugh that much better.
Well, it's funny because Dante punched up my hoarder's bit where the last bit I would say blah blah blah. No running water in the house, so no showering. No running water for 4 months, no showering for 4 months, and people will be like, oh, well, he changed it to no flushing for 4 months.
Right.
So there's a joke just before that gets a laugh, or it's intended to get a laugh. Then the next line, you get a groan, and then when I end saying, so we're getting married in the fall, on a big laugh, he's like, yeah, so you laugh. He called it a joke sandwich, laugh, groan, laugh. Yep. It's a roller coaster ride. So, you're taking him up here, and then you're pulling the rug out, and then you're taking him back up here again, and stuff like that.
Yep.
So inside those three lines, so if you can get, there's comics who, I don't think Chris Rock gets many groans or many things. He just gets straight dropping bodies. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, how can this be funnier than the last thing he just said, which was the funniest thing I'd ever heard? And then it's not the funniest thing until the next thing he says is funny, but it's like, yeah, anyways, Wayne Russell, this was delightful. I'm glad I badgered you for the last 2 years to do this.
I was just thinking that. Oh yeah, it's been 2 years you've been trying to get me to play this game.
Dude, I would have given up on a chick after the first, well, to be honest, after the first 5 minutes, because it's easier. So much easier. I think I could have fucked you easier than I could have got you to play Resident Evil at this point. There's a couple of nights I'm like, I think he's one beer away. Of course, that beer was, a beer that was, presented to you by Bill Cosby. But again, another story for another day. Wayne Russell, good luck shopping tomorrow, and look, I'll check in with you after. No, I won't. Your party's going to be great, but I'll let you know how McHugh goes.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely be texting you.
Well,
in between
I
my
think,
singing karaoke, last year I sang Taylor Swift with my boss, a little duet. So we'll see how it goes.
I hope it's on film. But if there's any takeaway from tonight, it's you please, Wayne Russell, don't forget.